Ladies and gentlemen, everyone between, welcome to another episode of the WrestleClub UK podcast. We are post-WrestleMania. We are in a new era. Obviously, AEW have got their pay-per-view this week, which is Dynasty, and we cannot wait to talk about, in this episode, about what do we think is going to happen, as well as stuff that has already happened this week in terms of surprises. This week, I'm joined by my wonderful good friend, one half of the Fluffy Boys, Mr. Danny Scott.
Hello, the AEW connoisseur.
So sarcastic, so sarcastic.
I love it.
How are you this week?
I've been good, thank you. Very, very busy boy, but yeah, very good. How are you? What do you say? Laugh at my busyness. So I've been busy in my own way.
In his own way.
Yeah. How have you been?
Very busy.
Very busy in your own way. We're both busy in our respective ways. Huh?
My way is actually busy. Your way, I feel, is partying way too much.
Listen. If people want to pay me to party, I shall. Okay?
Fair play.
I'm busy.
Have you been watching lots of wrestling this week then?
Yeah. WWE I've watched. That was good. AEW, I gave it a go. I gave it a fucking go.
For our regulars on the podcast, we'll know that Danny and Ibs are very much not into AEW. And I have been for weeks trying to convince them to get into AEW. But let's see if they, or mainly if Danny is going to be on board. Well, we're going to get straight into it.
Full disclosure, I called Ibs earlier and I was like, I think Sikisa wants to talk about AEW on the podcast today because she asked me to watch it again. And
I actually watched it on last week, Thursday.
Do you want to know his response to that when I said that?
Go on.
He laughed. He went, well, and I went, meh.
Well, if you are watching the episode on our YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah. Hello.
I'm not sitting on the head of the table this week. We have got a very special guest. All will be revealed later on. But let's kick it off with Poppin' Heat, shall we? Which is our highlights and lowlights of the week. We're going to kick it off with SmackDown, I think. Because there was an interesting situation with the Bloodline. There
was.
In which I feel like Solo is coming out as his own. Is he the new head of the table?
Are we getting a second table?
Are we getting a big old second table?
Like we've got two tables. We've got 2 round tables here. I reckon Solo's going to start his own podcast called WrestleClub US.
Yeah. The Bloodline edition.
Yeah. I think that's what we're potentially doing. I think we're going to, from what I'm assuming, because we've also got, is it
Tama Tonga.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, Tama Tonga. But we've also got Jacob Fatu, potentially.
Yeah, Jacob Fatu.
So it could, potentially, if he comes into the fray, you could have them 3, and then Roman comes back. Maybe the Usos come back. Like maybe we have a bit of a bloodline.
For those of you who have missed it, and where have you been? Tama Tonga debuted on SmackDown, taking out Jimmy.
He's a machine.
And there was a bit of me going, is Jay going to come out and save Jimmy? And I don't think it will happen now. I think they maybe potentially would do it in long run. Even though I think that would be a bad move because Jay is going on a nice little run at the moment in time. But there is the rumor that there will be another Bloodline family joining. But also the rumor was that how obviously Solo's not happy with Roman Reigns losing the championship. However, The Rock did get a win on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Therefore, is Solo's alliance now moved to The Rock?
And then is that how we get Rock and Roman? Is that like down the line? Next WrestleMania, is that how we get Rock and Roman?
Well, I think the next WrestleMania will be Cody Rock.
Nah, I think we get that at like maybe SummerSlam.
You think so?
Yeah, and I think we potentially get.
But that means a whole year before we find out who's really the new head of the table.
But that's WWE long-term storytelling at the minute, isn't it? That's what they did with Cody. Like we had fucking 2 years we had that.
Yeah.
So I reckon that's sort of on brand a little bit. Like at the minute for what they're trying to do, I think. Like, and also Solo's captivating. Like I really enjoyed that. also, what's really interesting is where does Paul Heyman's alliance lie?
Exactly, because Paul looked scared.
He looks scared, but also, if there's anyone in a WWE that can tell a story and can sell it to us, it's gonna be him, innit? Like, it is. I'm excited about that. I'm excited if we do get Jacob Fatu come into the fray as well, and we have like them three, and then maybe them three beat down on Jimmy, and then Jay does go like, I've got to super kick some people to help. Like maybe we get a bit of that. I don't know, and I think maybe we have a bit of a bloodline WrestleMania of, you know, you got Solo's bloodline, you've got Usos with, I don't know, probably fucking Sami Zayn, and then Rock and Roman. Maybe that's the angle they're going for. But it's good because they're doing something that I didn't see coming. Like, I love the whole Solo going, there needs to be consequences, and I'm like,
oh. As soon as you said that, I was like, oh, someone's coming.
Yeah, hugs him. Love you, brother. Oh my days. Yeah, that is how you sell a story, I think.
And also how you kind of move into the next phase of the bloodline. Yeah. If we're talking like Avengers,
exactly.
This is the new Avengers. This is part 2 of the Universal.
Are we saying that Roman Reigns did the Iron Man, fucked himself up, and now we've got the new generation of Marvel films and it's Solo to go at that? It works, doesn't it? It does gotta work. Triple H loves Marvel. Yeah. That's what I'm getting from this.
We also had some quite sad news in terms of Raw, where Rhea Ripley unfortunately had to give up her title due to injury, and the injury was caused last week when Liv Morgan basically attacked her backstage with a chair, but actually it wasn't the chair that caused the injury, it was the push into the wall that caused the injury, which is obviously really annoying because it's something so simple that caused such an injury, and she'll be out for up to 4 months, which kind of leads into SummerSlam.
Yeah, and I think also any listeners of the podcast know
we're Mammy fans. We're
Mammy fans, but also Danny is a Liv Morgan fan.
I know. You're.
So for me, I'm happy. I'm happy. That bit of telly when they were both fighting on the ramp, I'm there like, this is the best telly ever. Ibs sent me so many videos.
I was watching it because I watched it live because I wasn't able to sleep properly on Monday.
Too busy.
I watched the whole thing live, and I was there going, Danny's bitch.
Listen, she's got to win, hasn't she? Now I suppose that's the angle they've got to go for. That it's an easy angle, but like having Liv get the championship, Rhea comes back and fights her.
Well,
would be the easy angle.
Because we have been talking for weeks about who was going to take this championship from Rhea, and whilst it's obviously really sad that this has happened, the fact that she has lost the title and then been able to come back and be like, actually, I never lost this title. It was more or less taken away from me. Yeah. It's kind of like a great way for her to come back.
It's a badass storyline.
Yeah, it's a badass one.
For her, that's like a perfect storyline for her. Like to have to drop it and then come back. And be like a like even if it's like a 6-person match, she just comes in, destroys them all. Yeah. No, I think.
And also, it's interesting with the draft coming up because it doesn't because Nia Jax was obviously interviewed about the championship on Raw. And then Liv Morgan, obviously, Becky has still not signed her contract, but more or less we know it's going to stay in WWE. There are potential for other people to be in the frame to take this championship rather than Liv. And to be honest with you, I hope it's not.
What do you mean? What you hope it is Liv?
No, I hope it's not.
Well, you hope it's not Liv? Who would you want it to be?
Anyone but Liv.
Jade Cargill?
No, too early.
It is too early.
It's too early.
Who else would it be?
I don't care.
Well, give me a name.
I don't care.
I'm giving you Liv. Who have you got?
I don't care.
You don't care? Why not Liv? Why not Liv?
No.
Why?
No.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
I love Liv Morgan.
Also on Raw, we had the Intercontinental Championship in Sammy's hometown.
Oh
versus
my God.
And did I not call this lot?
You did. And then who was it that said, Mark. There's no way Chad Gable's going to turn. This is my impression of Mark, by the way. There's no way Chad's going to turn
Mark
heel.
loves to rip me about the fact that Sikisa's always wrong on the podcast.
Bam.
Can we just take it to note that Sikisa's called quite a lot of things on this podcast?
You have to be fair.
And some of them, yes, she has been wrong about, but some things she has been very, very right about.
You know what? As soon as he lifted Sammy's arm, I was like, damn, Mark's right. So that little turn when he comes back and just grabs me in that German suplex, I was like, that was great.
When it's the last match, I sometimes just turn off.
Yeah.
When it's gone on a little bit too long.
Fair.
Sometimes I like to wait. And this particular situation, I like to wait. It was Sammy's hometown, wife in the audience.
Oh, can we talk about his entrance as well, quick?
Yeah.
Oh my, so if you haven't watched it, treat yourself. You had Jay exiting through the audience, out the building. Also, I don't know if you saw it when he just pushes
when he pushed the guy out the way.
He's just in his way. He's like, fuck off. A bit of a heel move there from main event Jay. He's like the people's, but everyone's like, and he just goes, fuck off. It's so good. He's like, I've got a promo to cut. Move out my way. And then, Sammy going I used to line up out here watching WWE, and now it's only fit. I walk in as chat. Oh, mate, what an entrance.
It was great.
Entrance. Everyone's losing their mind. Who would you rather be, right, in the crowd, or would you be up for queuing up for a hot dog and then seeing Jay and Sammy walk past?
Well, both in it. You want a good seat, and then you be like, actually, you know when you lot went to, when we went to Money in the Bank, and you lot went to try and to the toilet, and then John Cena's music hit, and then you had to run back down.
I legged it.
It's like, but imagine if he came out the back while you were on the way to the toilet.
I would have come in my pants. That's John Cena. I'm going for a piss. I'm like, fuck. But imagine just queuing for a hot dog.
I know.
I'll take this time now. Jay's one, I'm going to go for a hot dog. And then he walks up past you, and you're like, "Oh, that was mad."
I can imagine you being the person that he pushes out the way.
Yeah, it would have been me. I'd have been like, "Listen to WrestleClub podcast, Jay, can we have you on?"
There also was a return on Raw. We had Sheamus return, which I kind of was annoyed was spoiled for me at the start.
Yeah, I was the same.
They announced it, and I was like, "Don't announce Sheamus returning. Give me a little bit of expectation."
Why can't we just have him come out and bro kick someone?
Yeah, exactly, man.
I love a surprise return. I hate this whole video package and then they turn up.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you think about Sheamus's return? His match?
It's lovely to have him back.
It's great, and I don't want to be that guy. But he was in better shape before, wasn't he?
Oh, don't go there.
No, but he was though. He was ripped. He does a whole gym thing.
Yeah.
And he was stacked.
He has made some comments about people saying stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I've seen it online.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. He's still fucking got it and he's smashed it.
Yeah.
What a fucking match. But normally when people return though, it is a bit of a god damn, you are ripped. But he was ripped before, and we kind of got a reverse.
Hey man, he's living his best life. He enjoys a pint.
He's an Irishman, and he's enjoyed his time off.
Allow him.
So I do want to take this time to say, if you are trying to fat shame Sheamus, fuck you.
Good. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. I had to address it though, because everyone did think it.
Go away.
You did think it though.
I didn't think it.
Yes, you did.
I really didn't. I was more concerned about his outfit. I was like, maybe not.
No, I quite like the little.
Nah, I was not feeling it. No, I'm not feeling it. Anyway. We had new tag team titles revealed on Raw.
Yeah.
We always got to. Our truth is currently the best thing currently.
Oh my god, Tommaso Ciampa. He's my favourite.
Idiot.
What do you think of the new design of the titles?
Oh no, it's crap. Oh no, I don't. No,
it's the World Heavyweight Championship from Wish, isn't it? I bought it off Wish. I'm like, what is this? This isn't the design. It looks really similar. It looks a touch of red. I was like,
I was just like, okay, WWE, we'll give you the moment.
But thank fuck we've got rid of them silver fucking copper,
I know, I hated them.
Nickel red strap. It is better. I will say I do prefer them, but I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't. No, I agree with you. Speaking of tag teams, also, I feel like Jade and Bianca are going to end up being official tag team and going for the belts, which I don't know how I feel about.
It's probably the right move to start, because what will probably end up happening, I imagine, down the line is that one of them will turn on the other, and then you get them for a bit. And this is how you build Jade.
I kind of hope it's Bianca.
Build Jade for a bit. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, probably. But build Jade just on telly for a bit.
Yeah.
I think
that's also, she needs to be better in the ring.
Yeah.
And I think her being paired up with Bianca will help her being better in the ring.
Because Bianca's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Amazing. And I do hope it's Bianca. I feel like Bianca needs a change at the moment.
Yeah.
And I do hope this is it.
It's like whips Jade.
Oh, you can imagine. Oh, that whip on WrestleMania. Oh.
My God.
God. Speaking about Jade Cargill, we'll talk about her previous employer, AEW. Tony Khan had a lot to say this week. He had several interviews. There was an interview with IndieWire.com, and where he said AEW is at war with WWE.
Yeah, it's seeming that way a little bit, isn't it, at the minute? Like,
companies are always at war.
Yeah, I think for a little bit, I obviously I don't like really the product. I try to watch various things. Like obviously when they announce like Will Ospreay and stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on it. I'll watch the odd match and stuff. But I felt like they were just doing their thing for a bit, and I thought that was the right thing to do. Like, just do your thing. Yeah. Like, wrestlers then have an option to go to eat. Like, it seemed like a good thing they were doing. I think as soon as I saw, like, obviously Young Bucks putting up that video of CM Punk, I was a bit like, that's a bit eggy.
Why?
It wasn't needed.
They tried to tie it in with the storyline with the Young Bucks and FTR. Yeah. And I was like, they wasn't even in the damn video.
Because I was thinking this, right? Because I watched it. And I was like, because I saw the video first, obviously, on like TikTok, I think. And it was like, the video. And I was like, where's this come from? And I looked, I was like, Young Bucks showed it. And I was like, why? And I tried to and I was like, I watched Dynamite. And I was like, what's the angle of them showing this video? FTR! And then I watched the video 4 times. Where is FTR in that? How are they... What's the angle? Because obviously you watch it more. What's the angle of they're saying that FTR...
They basically go with, this happened before our match. This was a distraction for us.
Is that it?
FTR were the people who more or less helped orchestrate... I know, it was ridiculous. And
that's stupid. Like, so they're saying that's the angle, and that's why they're not going to shake their hand.
Yeah.
Piss off. Yeah. That is so annoying. So because CM Punk made a couple of comments at the WrestleMania pre-show, they're like, you know what we'll do? We're going to show the video of you punching Jungle Boy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Suck a dick. Like, that is so shit.
Yeah.
But I think since they've done that, I lost respect as a company, because I just don't get why
you need to show it.
Like, what you're getting from it. Like, it also, quite happy I've seen the footage now. I'm not going to lie to you. I did want to know what happened. You know what I mean?
I think we always, when stuff like that always happens, we're kind of like, I would like to know what happened, players.
Yeah. And, like, obviously... What is it that Punk said before? He was like, he got in my face and I choked him out. And then I watched the video and Jungle Boy's like doing his hair and he just goes, bah! And just fucking throat punches him.
Yeah.
And then like...
Samoa Joe is in the back going, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, he's like, what's this? So like, I don't know if it's done him, but like, also I just think everyone has kind of seen through that a little bit and have gone, it's just, but there is apparently now, like you said, like a war between AEW and WWE. There's a lot, like obviously Will Ospreay's promo where he just like
Adam Copeland's promo a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, like even FTR's promo on Dynamite, like mentioning just about how we're trying to like create this space and we're trying to be the pillar of like this new company. That, like we're trying to do it for you, for people to come. Like their promos saved the Young Bucks segment, to be fair, but every single promo at the minute, it seems like they're trying to go,
fuck you,
we're better than WWE,
yeah,
and it's like it's only,
there's no need. Do your own thing.
On WWE TV, there's not an awful lot of mention or references. It was only on them like live stream press conferences where wrestlers are sort of talking a little bit out of character.
Yeah.
And they obviously mention a couple of things because it's hard to not mention it when you've got so many superstars who have been there. So it is kind of hard. But like obviously, and you've got CM Punk doing the press conference. What do you expect? He's got to say something. But they just bit. And also, for business, it's good, isn't it? Like it's a bit of drama.
It is a bit of drama. Well, obviously, like I said earlier, we have Dynasty this week for AEW's pay-per-view, and it's Swerve versus Samoa Joe for the championship.
Fuck yeah.
Got my little Swerve t-shirt.
You do. Whose house?
Swerve's house.
We can do that because Mark's not here.
Yeah. I am generally hoping that Swerve wins.
So do I. I really want Swerve to win. I think he's so fucking deserves it, man.
Yeah. He's built it up. He's worked hard. I believe this character.
Yeah.
I'm invested in this character. Win, motherfucker, win.
Please win, Swerve. I'd love to see that.
Rumour is, and you might enjoy this one, is that Motor City Machine Guns is going to join AEW.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I will watch.
You will watch that? You will watch that?
Yeah, I love Motor City Machine Guns.
Oh, no, you do?
Yeah. Why do you said that with disdain?
No. The only reason why you watch AEW, there's a lot of kissing also happening in AEW this week.
Kissing?
Lots of kissing with Tony Storm.
Oh, yeah. What's going on?
I don't know.
Okay. Oh, yeah. The listeners are going to fucking have a field day with this. they always say, you don't even watch the product. Tell me you don't watch AEW without telling me you don't watch it. I'm like, I have never said I'll watch it, dickhead. I will watch little bits. And now you're telling me stuff. I'm going, oh, really? I don't know. They're going to love this. Fucking lap it up, lads. No, I think it's kind of shit, but I will try.
Yeah.
I will give it a
you're
go.
a trier. You're a trier.
I'm a trier.
You're a trier. And you'll try anything. Including that haircut.
Listen,
we gotta have.
Hang on. I saw the look in your eye. I knew you were gonna go for something, you dickhead. You could have gone down so many roads when you were like, you try anything. I'm like, where's she going with this? Where are we going with this? Leave my hair alone, man. It is fucking.
Okay.
It's elite.
Mm-hmm. It's not. We're now gonna bring it into
oh, what a segue that is.
Yes, we're now gonna introduce our wonderful, amazing guest.
Fuck yeah.
WrestleClub podcast.
Now into our next segment, which is the Clubhouse Chatter, where we have a wonderful guest join our club. And this week, hailing from the deep valleys of Wales with a voice of an angel, also known as the Strawberry Blonde, he is the founder of Catch 22 Academy. Please welcome to the club, Mike Bird!
Shamai, that's me. Newport isn't a valley. You were real close, Sikisa.
Fine.
From
I knew it was from Newport. I knew you were from Newport.
A really dirty, gritty town just outside of the valleys. Doesn't have the same ring, so I'll let you off, my love.
Imagine that as the intro.
I know. From the gritty.
From the number 2 place for violent crime that isn't Glasgow. Mike.
I love the fact that you've come to the pod in merch from head to toe.
Can you, Mike?
Head.
Can you please show the camera what you got on your feet, please? Because we are split on the podcast. Sikisa does not like this look. However, I fucking love it.
I enjoy it from head to hair.
So I'm essentially a character from The Simpsons. If you go into my wardrobe, it's real easy. I just have things that are color coded. Okay. So it's
I did notice the
black.
trackies as well. They were.
I try and keep everything color coded because
so the TV's up there, you can
see. ADD means that I really am bad at making decisions. So if it's all orange and black, everything goes together. But I have.
Look at them.
Oh, my
it's got Catch 22
sliders.
But Sikisa's problem is
look at the flexibility on that boy.
I've got my socks on. Look, Sikisa, my love.
It's got socks and sliders.
Here's the thing, my love, right? I'm Welsh and incredibly white and a former rugby player. So we all wear flip-flops year round, mostly until it gets really cold. Now, if you have sliders with socks, I can wear flippy-floppies all year round.
I don't know where you said flippy floppies.
Flippy floppies.
Made me melt. That was great. Our listeners have got a treat. Yeah.
I mean, we've got a treat just from the voice. The voice alone. I love a Welsh accent.
Are they Catch 22 sliders available to buy as well?
They will be in the very near future.
Will they? These are one of one?
These are one of one.
No way.
Exclusive?
I have an incredible merch supplier in Amy from Sticky Ink Studios, who incidentally supplies 90% of British wrestling with their T-shirts and other merchandise.
Mate.
And I've known since I was a teenager because she lives across the road from my mum.
Oh, really?
So she basically got a business out of me being in wrestling.
Oh, sick. Are you selling any merch? Obviously, we'll talk about it later on.
We'll talk about it later on. We'll talk about it.
I love a merch chat. Basically, I want the merch. That's what I'm trying to tell you. What I'm trying to tell you, Mike, is where can I get a T-shirt and where can I get a sliders? That's all I want.
I know a guy.
Well,
don't know what he says.
We'll talk about Catch 22 in a bit, but let's talk about you, though, Mike. Mike Bird, debuted 2005.
2004.
Okay, someone needs to update the internet.
This has gone well.
This is. See, I debuted when the internet was still just about a thing. Do you know what I mean? It hadn't really sort of taken off. So you had the UK fan forum was like, like that's right. I'm old, all right, guys. Do you know what I mean? I know I don't look it. I know I look incredibly young and spry, but no, I'm in fact ancient.
Well, someone called me 40 the other day on my on our Instagram page.
I'll just stay quiet.
Nah, fuck that guy.
hey, be nice now. Right?
Yay!
Also, if we get any more hate comments, can we just send them to you?
Yeah.
Fucking you just reply on a video. Like,
Hey, pack it in. Behave, the lot of you. I'll tell you, ma'am.
hey! That's what you get.
Love it.
Mess with the WrestleClub podcast. We got friends, and they're bigger than us.
Yeah. And they're probably bigger than you.
And I'll tell you, ma'am. That's
Thank you, mate.
That's like the biggest thing sort of back in Wales is
I tell you, mum.
Policeman will pull you aside and he won't scream at you or shout at you. Just go, Mike, I'll tell you, ma'am. Oh no, please don't. Please don't. No, not my ma'am. Not my ma'am.
I think that'll still work on me now, actually. I'll tell your mum, like, please don't.
So how did you actually get into wrestling? Tell the people who don't know.
So hundreds of years ago, my godfather, he used to run a shoe shop in Aberystwyth, which is...
I've been.
You've been?
I've been.
And you escaped?
Yeah. I've done comedy there. Yeah.
I mean, it probably was comedy. Whether they got it or not is an entirely different matter. But you did it. So we used to run a shoe shop in Aberystwyth. And obviously moved back to Newport, and it is basically like, well, my godfather is like my uncle. And this was the sort of early 90s when the American wrestling was the big thing. It was all new, all different. Well, him and my dad had started going to cards in the NEC in Birmingham, but the very first WWF card in as it was then, the CIA in Cardiff, he took me along. And I mean, I had a, well, I wouldn't say a vague, but I knew wrestling and watched wrestling before then, because I think everybody was a Hulkamaniac. Do you know what I mean? I
was not.
Not me.
Not me.
Not me.
Especially not now.
I mean, you can pack it in and all, right?
A message to Hulk Hogan. Because he listens. He listens.
Big Terry. Do you know what I mean? So no, he took me along, and that was my first experience. And ever since that day, I was either going to play rugby for Wales or wrestle. And seeing Bret Hart and Owen Hart in the main event, the house show in CIA in Cardiff kind of sealed the deal on what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. It turns out my sister was the best rugby player in the family anyway, so I think I got in the right line of business.
And have you enjoyed your journey in wrestling? From speaking to other wrestlers, it's a really hard thing to get into. Really, I tried it, fucking annoyed, to having to deal with matches, entrances, people, personas. There's a lot of things to deal with within wrestling. So how was it in the 90s or the early noughties? Because obviously social media wasn't around.
Oh, no, God, no. Do you know what I mean? It was a different world then. My first matches are still on VHS tape because that kind of... Right, Danny, so a VHS...
I knew it was coming. I knew it.
I bet you don't even know what the internet sounds like.
Yeah. Is it a bit like that? It's a bit like that, isn't it?
Yeah, that'll do.
Nice. Look at that.
We'll allow
I'm an impressionist now.
So no, it was a different world. It really was. And I think for me, that's like it really helped being almost out in the wilderness for as long as I was, because I had years and years and years of being able to be crap. But a lot of wrestlers now, fresh out of wrestling school and expected to be the product. They're expected to be, Roman Reigns or Will Ospreay. And if you're expecting that on your first day out of wrestling school, then you're going to be sorely disappointed. But for me, it was breaking in then has made me the wrestler I am today, because I've been able to fall on my arse as many times as I have without being seen as instantly as a lot of people are nowadays, which is both a great thing and a detriment to them. But honestly, for me, I'm just working in the best job in the world. It is. It's hard work. It is absolutely hard work, but it's no harder.
Yeah, my knee understands.
But it's no harder than being a bricklayer. Do you know what I mean? It's no harder than
I've worked on sites. I've never had to power bomb someone off a top rope when I was laying bricks. But by the way, I did see that video of you earlier on YouTube. I had a little look. You power bombed someone off a top rope, Mike.
Right.
That was ridiculous, by the way.
Right. You can blame my long-suffering and wonderful wife, because
that's not who you power bomb.
I know.
I'll watch the video.
No,
that's a different video.
yeah. I'll have you know, it was on YouTube.
That's not the way that would happen if it was me and Paige. But no, so my wonderful other half, Paige, who is also the manager of Catch 22 and ring announcer and general all around, does everything, has the most infinite knowledge of professional wrestling. I like to think that I know most things about most things, but Paige embarrasses me on what she knows, and so I think that week leading up to that, she'd been watching nothing but Mike Awesome matches. So I'd pretty much gone, this is good.
Yeah.
She's gone, yeah, no. I like Mike Awesome. I'm like, yeah, I know you do. I like him too now. But yeah, so that was and
so that move was from that sort of inspired by
yeah,
that.
like
that was it was insane. Have you seen Sikisa? It was
I have seen it.
like
it's crazy.
You see a move start and I go, oh, this could botch so bad, and literally it was the cleanest thing. It was so good.
Well, that's a lot of lifting weights in the gym and a lot of eating Greggs.
Nice. I'm halfway there.
Do you know what I mean? Like
I love it, Greggs.
You've got the makings of a top professional wrestler.
Yeah. I know. I've been saying this for ages. Well, speaking, I'm going to talk about Catch 22. But before we do, we have a question from our wonderful listeners who has sent in this.
Hi, Mike. It's also Mike, all the way from Kent. I was wondering, seeing as you're billed as Flying Mike Bird, what are your thoughts and opinions about teaching young, handsome trainees flying moves, such as a really sick sort of lariat thing where you do a twist and then you knock someone on their behind? Thanks a lot. Love and kisses.
My thoughts and opinions are whoever is coaching you deserves a raise. And they sound like an incredibly handsome and wonderful professional coach. But what I would say to this young, unknown wrestler who is also called Mike is, if you learn to do a waist lock properly, we'll talk about the other stuff, yeah?
So
this is obviously an inside thing.
Let's pull the curtain back for the listeners, shall we? We obviously posted that Mike was going on the podcast, and one of my good friends back home in Kent, he was like, he trains me. And I went, you can send us a voice note if you want. And that is what he said. So can he not do a waist lock properly? Is that what's going on?
I mean,
let's shoot it now, man.
Let's put out some shade, shall we?
Yeah, man.
Let's shade. Well, let me spill the tea, ladies and gentlemen.
Go on.
No, I have to say, Mike is...
Don't gas him up too much because he
No,
will have this and play it all the time.
he's terrible and I hate him.
Yeah, there we go. And I'll clip that.
No, like he's one of the reasons why I like coaching. I love coaching. It's an incredibly different high to actually competing and wrestling, but it is such a high to see somebody walk in and be completely unsure of themselves and then just watch a light go off in their head and almost become a different person, almost just to see sort of light bulbs go off in people's heads and people find their confidence and find their feet with things. And that's the best part of the job about coaching, is just seeing people get it and just seeing people love it as much as I love it. You know, it's great. And his waist lag isn't too bad, I will.
Have you ever... how long have you been coaching for?
Oh, I want to say since 2009.
So have you ever had anyone come in who think they're like the next Roman Reigns, but they're so shit? Because I feel like our listeners would quite like to hear. Did you have any experience of someone
Next
just...
Logan Paul.
Yeah. That's me,
Right.
baby. I'm going... I'm turning up.
As a coach...
Obviously, I don't want you to say any names and be like, you know, but have you just ever seen anyone who's just...
The ego.
You know, the ego's so massive and they can't even do a headlock.
Right. So, this is a coach's worst nightmare. It is... You'll have a trainee turn up and they'll already have in their heads their gimmick, their character, their this, their that, and you're like, awesome, brill, but Destroyer of Worlds, let's rein that back a bit and let's maybe concentrate on hammerlocks for a minute, because, you know, raining fire on your undead demon dad, that sounds wonderful. That's great. But I'm not entirely certain how we're going to get that across to 40 people in a social club in South Wales. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like big, and I think that's the thing. I as we've obviously sort of said, I come from a sporting background and what have you. So for me, I obviously view wrestling very much in the same sort of sense as I would like rugby or stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's about the training, it's about the conditioning, it's about drilling technique, it's about being in the gym, it's about eating right, it's about a lot of this stuff. When in fact, the more, and again, you can blame my long-suffering other half of this, professional wrestling as trained is like a sport. Professional wrestling as performed is drag.
No, and I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. 100%. I think obviously this is why we've always had people relate to it with comedy.
Yeah.
Because it is similar where you have a persona. Like, people see me on stage, I think that's how I am in real life. I'm like, no, I'm just an exaggerated version of who I am. And I've had similar things with my students where people have come in and had an idea of what they wanted to do with comedy and come up to me after the first session and be like, so this is what I want to think about my Netflix special. And I'm like, oh, babe, can we...
Should we work on that 5?
Can we just work on a 5? Can we just get a solid 5?
Yeah.
Let's get 2 punchlines and a go home, Can we do that?
Because you were saying it before about like how you know, like the wrestlers were coming in and like they're doing it so quick, and as you were saying it, I was like, that is comedy, isn't it? Like, people would think they're like they walk in, they're like, I'm the dog's bollocks. It's like
they see Acaster, they see Ed
exactly.
Gamble, they're like,
they
I could do
finish.
that.
You were saying they finish wrestling school and they think they're ready to be Roman Reigns. We get people finish comedy courses and think they're James Acaster, and you're like, can you please fucking take a minute? Like, do your gigs, do your graft. You need to fall on your ass, and that's why there's so many like similarities. Like I think we spoke about before in the podcast with another guest about like the similarity between comedy and wrestling, but also just all performance art in general. you have to fall on your ass. You have to learn your craft. You can't walk in with a Netflix special day one and go, how many gigs you done? I've done 3, but this is my walk-on song on Netflix. Piss off. Like, what are you doing?
It's like this. That's the thing. Like, you can have the sort of coolest idea in the world for a character or a gimmick or a this or a that, but
look, you have to get through Husky Harris to get to the Fiend.
Mate,
that's what we're saying.
If you can't do a drop toe holds, do you know what I mean? Like, you being like the modern day Rambo is wonderful and everything, but like you've got to do your first couple of, like, and you should, and everybody wants to come out the gate and just be, I want to be this, and I got a gimmick, and I got a deal, and I got a thing. Like, if everybody's got a gimmick, nobody's got a gimmick. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, if what's it say on the poster? It says pro wrestling. If you turn up in the first couple of years, you are just a wrestler in boots and trunks. There's always going to be work for you if you're good. Do you know what I mean? And look, I've made a career out of being very good at wrestling. Like, that's it. I mean, I don't really have a gimmick, do you know what I mean? Apart from talking with a very lovely Welsh accent, do you know what I mean? But, you know,
that's a gimmick.
It's a very lovely Welsh accent.
That's a gimmick, mate. That's okay.
Do you know, like, but
unless you're performing in Wales, and then I
suppose
it's like, but then they're like, one of us.
That's
home
just
turf.
That's just a voice.
Yeah. There we go.
I saw him down the pub.
You're not quite Tom Jones, but there we go.
But Tom Jones can't powerbomb off a top rope. That's what I heard.
I reckon he could.
It's Tom Jones.
That's fair enough.
I'm just
you
saying,
know what?
Right. Sir Tom and Big Shirley Bassey, they could do what they want, as far as I'm concerned. Do you know what I mean?
I would pay so much money to see either of them attempt to powerbomb off the top rope. If like Progress or what, I was like, could you try? Let's try. I'll go to Wales. And I will go. If I heard Tom Jones is going to powerbomb Shirley Bassey off the top rope, I'll be there.
May Young all over again.
Yeah, I'll be there.
But also, being Tom Jones isn't a gimmick, all right? Just in case anybody gets any ideas out there, you can't be Tom Jones. There's already Tom Jones.
Was you worried that you were going to get some more students come up to you? I think I've got a gimmick, Mike.
Do you know what?
You know Tom Jones. Well, I'm Dom Jones.
Would you train? Do you think Danny could be a great wrestler? Because I'm trying to convince Danny to come to your facility, if you want to put it that way.
Realistically,
I didn't like the pause then.
I can.
Do
you think Danny can be a wrestler? That was quite a pregnant pause.
Yeah,
That was
I've
9 months.
I didn't like.
Pregnant.
That was. So much has happened. We've had 4 more hate comments in that pause.
Your ma'am. I will tell you, ma'am.
Yeah, I can wrestle.
I can.
What if I told you, Mike, I've already got my whole gimmick planned for WrestleMania? What about that? If I've already got my storyline based.
I listen intently.
And I will tell you, good luck.
I'd listen intently. So it's possible to teach anyone to become a wrestler. It's possible to teach anyone to wrestle, I should say. But the biggest thing I can't teach you is to have personality. And again, this is going back to people having gimmicks, because I think a lot of people sort of rely on gimmicks. Do you know what I mean? There's obviously the famous stories about Mark Mero, where Vince McMahon wanted Johnny B. Bad, and then he went to the WWF and couldn't be Johnny B. Bad and failed because he couldn't be Johnny B. Bad, and that's all he had ever been, was Johnny B. Bad. So there are a lot of guys that they come out of wrestling school and they're like, this guy isn't very good. Put a gimmick on him, that'll help. Boom. And gimmicks aren't a panacea, do you know what I mean? Like, you have to learn to wrestle before you can make a gimmick work. And if you're trying to force a gimmick to work, it isn't working. So just having personality. Because what's The Rock's gimmick?
Eyebrow.
Yeah, eyebrow, and he's cooking something. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but he's rustling up something.
Beef stroganoff.
Yeah. Makes a great beef stroganoff. That's his whole gimmick.
Just imagine that was it. One day he just turns up. It's like, I don't know whether Rock is Welsh, but in my story he is.
Yeah, he's Welsh.
Right, lads, it's me, Dwayne. I've done a nice stew and some lovely Welsh cakes. Just pass them round. That'll be wonderful.
Not you, Cody. Not you. Mama Rose can have one, but you can't. So if I right, I'm gonna say this because we tried to get Sikisa to do this before, and when we had lovely Charlie in to do some training, if I was to come along to a Catch-22 wrestling training, if I filmed it for the WrestleClub podcast Instagram and did a little journey of basically me getting slapped up, would you work for that? Would you work for trying?
Obviously, that's like...
Yeah, we go, all right, listen.
I've also just realised you don't know, do you? That means that Danny does not listen to the podcast. I have done wrestling training.
Oh, you did start? I listened to some.
I feel like I've
similar to Mark Cram, if I'm not on it, not a lot.
I feel like I've listened to more of the podcast than you haven't.
I think you might have. You know more than me. How many have you done though? How many training sessions have you done?
4.
4.
I've just got back into it. I went to a different company. But yeah.
Oh, sick.
Because my knees was fucked. I basically pulled my knee and my shoulder at the same time. My shoulder healed within a day. My knee took 8 weeks.
If you keep doing that, we're going to start calling you CM Punk.
Leave Big Phil alone. Leave him
Big
alone.
Phil.
He's having
Watch me get injured day one.
He's having a tough old time.
Well, let's talk about Wrestival, because obviously this is why we have you on the pod, because we are joining you. I don't like to say it's a joint collaboration. Ooh, yeah. I like to say we're joining you. It's fun.
For those who watch on the video, they just had a lovely little handshake moment, and I just sat and watched.
It was great.
Yeah, it was for the audio listeners, that's what happened. That's why they just both went, "Ooh, yeah." They didn't just shit on the floor. Like, as audio listeners, we have a lot of them. They might. Video's new. It's quite a new feature to WrestleClub. They would have just heard you go, "We're doing Wrestival, we're teaming together," and then both of you went, "Oh yeah."
I forget that you're actually quite young, aren't you? So the Macho Man.
Oh yeah. No, you know what? I've had enough of this shit.
No. I can't do this anymore. No, we are joining you at Wrestival on the 2nd of May. We're very excited at 7 p.m. For Lethal Lottery.
I'm very excited at all hours, not just at 7 p.m.
Oh, 5.
But we will be wrestling at 7 p.m.
Because if this is your ideas. If you want to tell the listeners and the viewers what exactly is Lethal Lottery.
I cannot and I will not take credit. The credit must again go to Paige, because as much as I am the incredibly beautiful face, the person that does all the work is Paige. So there is obviously the old saying, behind every man is a great woman. Well, behind me is probably the greatest woman that you could ever meet. Do you know what I mean?
Jesus Christ. You've raised the bar.
You've raised the bar, especially because I've got like 2 fat boys on this podcast.
You did.
And then Mark and Richard on the podcast as well. You've raised the bar for men at this moment in time. And now I've realised I'm going to have to find myself. I was going for Scottish originally, mainly because of the cost of Edinburgh Fringe. And now I'm going to go for Welsh. I'm going for Welsh. Because they seem like the loveliest people ever.
Oh my God, that was the loveliest thing ever. And somehow Sikisa turned around just slagging off me and my other fluffy boy again. I'm not standing for it, Ibs. I got you. But fair play, that is the nicest thing I've ever heard. And if it was in my accent, it would have sounded a lot worse, like I was trying to steal something. She's the greatest woman ever. And they're like, what do you want from her? So it was her idea.
But also I'm selling car radios.
At Wrestival on the merch stand. We get on. What a loop back around that was.
So
did she come up with the idea of Lethal Light?
Oh yeah. So this is the thing. So like, the two things I say that there are three things that we talk about frequently. Like obviously the most important thing that we talk about on a day-to-day basis is our daughter, who is possibly the biggest wrestling fan I know.
Really?
At 3 years old.
We'll get her on as a guest.
To the point, and it's, you ask her who's her favourite wrestlers. Her favourite wrestlers are Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, and Girls Got Taste. After that, I just like Daddy and Kia. For those of you who don't know, Kia that's KM Lane, who is essentially my son at this point. If you don't look him up, go on the internet, go on YouTube, make sure it's a good match. I've wrestled him a bunch. I've trained him, I coached him, and he is like a member of my family.
Oh, cute.
He's also my daughter's best friend. So that's like, we talk about her, and just her life and what have you. The second topic that we talk about most is what I've forgotten that day, because.
And now you're part of the podcast, mate.
See, this is the thing. It's contact sports are not necessarily great for people with the ADD. Do you know what I mean? So
what's Danny's excuse?
ADHD, baby. ADHD. I was got that hypersection.
But that's it, isn't it? You've just got a regular vanilla ADD. I've got the ADD with a potential CTE.
Hey, come on, je ne sais quoi. Hello.
It's war. It's not great, I'll be honest.
What was the last thing?
I'm gonna guess wrestling.
And wrestling.
Yeah,
there we go.
Imagine if he just went and beef stroganoff.
Banana bread. She bakes incredible banana bread.
Oh, you can't say that to a black woman from the Caribbean.
My fat Welsh white mother cooks the best jerk chicken I have ever tasted, and I have eaten a lot of jerk chicken.
I think we're gonna have a fight.
I feel too white for this conversation.
You know what? I'm gonna bring you some banana bread.
You bring
what? Wrestival?
At Wrestival, you're getting some.
Right, that means I'm going to make Welsh cakes. But my mum...
Oh my God, we getting banana bread and Welsh cakes at Wrestival. All right, mate, if you don't get tickets... Come on.
I will hand out Welsh cakes.
I will bring turkey dinosaurs, the food of my people.
What has England ever done for food?
Jamie Oliver took my turkey Twizzlers. That's what it's done. That's what's happened.
That's why there's immigrants. Okay.
My mum. We'll have a quick side note on this, because my mum actually learned about cooking Caribbean food from Mrs. Lawrence, who lived across the road from her in Splot in Cardiff, who was a Jamaican lady back in the 1960s. So it's not like she's looked at what Jamie Oliver passes as. Yeah. So there you go. It's
right. We'll allow that.
It's actual proper really stuff, not just.
Okay, Mumsy. Okay, I see you, Mumsy.
Oh, Big K. Big up K.
Big up Kate.
Who's fed like a million wrestlers because she just used to turn up and be like, "Oh, you've done a lot of stew. Do the boys want any?" Yeah, ma'am. Of course they do. They're all wrestlers. Nice. Of course they want food. But no, me and Paige talk about wrestling, whether it's promoting stuff, whether it's coaching, or whether it is just crap WCW Thunder matches, because obscure wrestling is something that we both love. Like, I love professional wrestling in all its forms. Like, obviously, if you see me wrestle, I do love a good wrist lock. Like, you know what I mean? I know, like, if you like technical wrestling, you'll probably like Mike. Do you know what I mean? But I like everything from World of Sport to UWFI from the mid-90s in Japan to Mexican Slav wrestling. I know it's Slave, but it's got 2 L's and I'm Welsh, so it's pronounced like that. But I just love wrestling in all its forms. And there's nothing me and Paige like more than crap wrestling. So, like, we talk about it all the time. And I remember her saying to me the one day, she was like, what if we just booked a show where we had all the wrestlers, but the fans chose the matches. And I thought that was the best idea.
Like old school Cyber Sunday, but just in your face.
Well, yeah, with lottery tickets, with raffle tickets.
So
Raffle
cool.
tickets.
To make it
Such a-
incredibly British. Rule Britannia! I can't believe I just said, as a Welshman.
Yeah, I was about to say.
As a Welsh supporter of independence, I can't
Stood up
believe
on the
I
podcast and
just
shouted Rule
said Rule
Britannia.
Britannia.
Also, off the back of saying raffle tickets. Like, it's nothing.
Ain't nothing more British than raffle
tickets
and a sausage roll. Bloody love raffle tickets, mate. Ooh, tenants love it. Oh. So the idea is that they'll get raffle tickets, and then
On
if
entry-
their raffle ticket
If their
gets
raffle
pulled,
tickets are pulled, so
what can they choose?
they get to choose
Let
the
them know.
wrestler in each match. So
Sick.
we thought this was the greatest idea ever, and we took
was a brilliant idea.
We took it to our stable of wrestlers, who instantly went, "This is awful. I don't want to have to wrestle a match on the fly. How are we gonna?" To which solidified it as a perfect idea for me because I'm horrible. But it's I'll talk inside baseball because we're here. I tend to call a lot of my matches in the ring. Like, I go home mostly. Maybe there'll be something at the beginning, maybe something in the middle, but for the most part, I'm just calling it. And not because I think I'm the second coming of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, but because I've got the ADD and I will forget what you've called at me if we call it all in the back. I can't do it. And it's becoming increasingly apparent that that's a lost art form. So it was our idea to try and help highlight that art form of calling things on the fly, of doing wrestling as wrestling was done. Because, don't get me wrong, wrestling how it is now certainly isn't how it was in the 80s and the 90s and whenever. But this can be that beautiful marriage of what it was and what it is. Yeah. And that's kind of what we're looking at. And also, you could end up with a match of Big Levi Muir wrestling Sky Smithson. Do you know what I mean? You could end up with that. You could end up with like any sort of possible combination of the 6 wrestlers that we've got. And
So I think what we're saying is they need to come to Wrestival to see this unravel, right?
I mean, I'm not going to tell you that it is going to be the most manic hour of professional wrestling, the most unpredictable hour of professional wrestling. But what I am telling you is if you get a ticket, you can decide for yourself.
Oh, and there's the promo.
Yeah.
Not only that, Sikisa, you're going to be
as the head of the
main
table
host.
and as a regular host at Wrestival, I am ring announcing and also hosting the show. And I will have Fluffy Boys will be there, Richard and Mark Cram will be there.
Are we on commentary?
Commentary?
We're on commentary.
And also we'll be helping out, taking out the raffle tickets. So someone's got to pick out the raffle tickets in it. So.
Oh, sick! I'll do that.
Yeah. I know. Literally, it's the Fluffy Boys doing it. So
Me and Ibs are taking out the raffle tickets. 69, way, banter. It's the fuckboy number. It's us.
So get your tickets on the 2nd of May.
2nd of May.
Also is a double bill with Jerry Bakewell's Cabaret Show, so get your tickets as well. If you buy your tickets, you can have both shows. Lovely job.
Oh, that's a great.
As the head of the table, Mike, you have been asked to pick 3 wrestlers that you would join to your dinner party. What 3 wrestlers?
Oh, see, that's...
There was time. He did have time.
Right. Okay.
Tell us on why.
There's a serious thought going on.
Serious?
No, you've got to think about these things. Right.
Are you thinking of the dynamic if they get along? Because don't worry about that.
Oh, no, it's going to be a grumpy old man table. I feel like it's going to be a grumpy old man table. But this is the thing. A lot of people, right, especially younger people, right, stop demonizing grumpy old men, because grumpy old men have the best stories because they've seen it all, they've done it all. Grumpy old men are the best, right? That's what you want in your life. Get yourself a grumpy old man. They're not always right. They're absolutely not always right. But the story will be interesting.
I mean, you're living in Kent now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you're seeing the worst of the grumpy old men. They're the worst.
I mean, bless them.
Bless them.
It's like Dad's army.
It's
Christ.
so bad.
But they do still think we're at war.
So who's your first grumpy old man at your table?
It's got to be Brett, hasn't it? It's got to be Brett. Because, and I think a lot of people actually perceive him as a grumpy old man, but in reality he's not. He just kind of tells the truth. He tells the truth as perceived by him. There's never really any, you can't poke holes in his stories. And he's got some great stories. Like, I think you get a few points in him, you'll probably get some of the more saucy stories as well. Do you know what I mean? I reckon Brett would drink a Guinness, though.
I can imagine he would. Yeah, I can imagine he would.
I think
Can
it's
see that. So you got Bret Hart, second grumpy old man.
you got to go with Fit Finlay.
Fit Finlay.
And I'm not just choosing Fit Finlay because he is what I think is the perfect wrestler, and B, the person I tell students to look at or watch and emulate as a base for how to be a great wrestler. But also, he's got great stories.
Yeah.
You know he's been around the world. Like, if Terry Funk is the person saying that's a perfect wrestling villain, he's perfect. He's the best wrestling villain that Terry Funk has ever seen. If Terry Funk is saying that about someone, then he's obviously a great wrestler. But he's been in Germany. He's been around Europe, and he was there and made a living out of that. He was in Britain and was the top drawing card in Britain as a proper villain. He's been to Japan. He was wrestling for New Japan. He was in WCW. He's been backstage for the WWE. He's done everything.
He's got stories. He's definitely got stories.
Oh, he's got stories. And you see on other podcasts where he's been on, he'll tell a few stories, and you think, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah,
isn't it, Dave?
Out,
Come on.
Give out that
Come
tea.
on.
We want it.
You got Bret Hart, Fit Finlay. Last one. Who you got?
This is hard because it's now.
Which grumpy old man are you having on?
I think it's the Funker.
Ooh.
Yeah, you got to go with Terry Funk if you were gonna.
I reckon he'd make a good beef stroganoff as well. I don't know why he strikes me as someone he might.
Oh no, he's a barbecue man. You look at that man, and he's like,
smoke a rib. He knows what he's doing.
Danny, do you want a few steaks, boy? Yeah, you look at that man.
I felt like I was on a podcast with Terry then.
You look at him, and again,
I'm transported.
He's got stories. There's things to be told, and you think he's again another one that's seen it all, done it all, and he's just a mental.
They're a good free choice you got. I like that.
Great choices. Before we end our little segment, penultimately, we're going to give you a 60-second challenge where I give you some fast-paced questions. Some of them are yes or no answers. Some of them are just random things that come to your head. First thing that comes to your head, got some fast answers. Ready?
See how many you can get. Want to be the
ready?
best. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
AEW, WWE.
WWE.
Nice.
Who is the most underrated wrestler?
Owen Hart.
Pinfall or submission?
Submission.
Snog, marry or kill? Paul Heyman, Triple H, or Tony Khan?
Kill Tony. Snog Paul, marry a Hunter.
Whose entrance would you steal?
CM Punk's.
Who has the worst storyline in wrestling history?
Vince McMahon and his illegitimate son.
Okay. We're going to say recently.
well, just wind that back.
Which faction would you want to be in?
Wolfpack.
What would be your idol?
No, Heart Foundation.
What would be your idol WrestleMania match?
Fit Finlay.
Against you?
Yep.
Where would you have it?
Bam. That's the time that you can answer that one.
Where would I have it?
Yeah.
Principality Stadium, when they inevitably do WWF WrestleMania, WWE WrestleMania in the United Kingdom. And also, on that front, I think they will do a UK event, because if you look at it, think about it like this, okay? So they got 2 days of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 2 was in 3 different cities. It didn't work out, but what if it's in 2 different cities with a time zone difference? Because they've got 2 days.
What?
WrestleMania Saturday, New York. WrestleMania Sunday, Cardiff, or London,
Intriguing.
Whoa,
And if
that
you
is
have-
a bizarre theory, though.
And if you haven't thought about it, Big Paul, I'll take 10% of the gate.
2 time zone differences, that would be interesting.
What are your current thoughts about wrestling at the moment?
Bloody love it, I do.
Yeah.
I wish people would stop trying to start promotional wars, but I mean, ultimately, my thoughts about professional wrestling, I absolutely adore professional wrestling. I always have, and I always will. Even when wrestling hasn't been hot, loved it. I've always found something to love about it. And look, we're always going to find things that we don't like about wrestling, and I'm going to find things I don't like about wrestling, which is going to be different to fans' perspective, because for me it's a job. It's, my line of work. And yeah, I am full-time wrestler and wrestling coach, and sometimes wrestling promoter. But I will have different gripes to fans. But ultimately, there's so much more to love about pro wrestling than there is to hate.
Are you watching AEW?
I'll be honest, the thing I'm watching most at the moment, 1984 Mid-South.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm the sort of person that will go back and birthday present Paige got me last year, Pro Wrestling Classics DVD, and it's all black and white footage from the 1950s and 60s. Nice. It's got the full Buddy Rogers, Pat O'Connor, NWA World Heavyweight Championship defense, title switch. I love going back and watching old wrestling. Too many, right? And young professionals now. It's wonderful to watch things contemporarily, but if you are stealing things contemporarily or from your contemporaries, people will know where you've got that from. I do Bobby Eaton spots because everybody thinks I've just made them up.
God
wow.
damn.
Bit of knowledge there for the
There
youngsters
we
there.
go.
Bit of knowledge. Well, thank you, Mike, for joining us.
Thank all of you.
No, thank
You've
you for
been very
joining us.
lovely.
We can't
Thank
wait
you
to
guys.
see you again on the 2nd of May. Make
Yeah.
sure you get your tickets.
We get a
It's
whole
gonna be
day.
it's gonna be so much
Yes.
fun. Looking forward to it. Apart from that, let's thank Mike. Mike. Sorry.
What? Go on.
Oh my
Can
God!
I-
Today
You
is
say
really
Mike
long.
Rice.
I did say Mike Rice.
Has to be a very different
Please
podcast.
may I just request,
Go on.
the Sunday before, on the 28th of April,
Go on.
Yeah.
we are running a Jim Wars card from Bulks in Gravesend.
Hey,
So-
go on. That's where I was born, Gravesend.
Why?
I don't know. Ask my mum. Ask Trace. I don't know. Yeah,
Trace.
Gravesend on the 28th.
Trace. Why? Just why, my love? Why would you start him off like that? You can see what's happened. Why?
She's
So
gonna
the
fucking
28th
love
of
that.
April, we will be running a show at Bulks Gym
So-
in Gravesend. And then
Wrestival,
Wrestival.
2nd of May. Get your
Hell yeah.
tickets. Get your ticket for both events. We loved having you, Mike Bird, on this podcast. Mike Bird!
My bad!
WrestleClub Podcast.
To close the section, just a couple rumours that have come out recently. Obviously, it's not really rumours, but facts. Matt Cardano's injured with a torn pec.
Oh, goddamn.
Sad times.
I love Mac.
Logan Paul is expecting a baby.
Yeah, I saw this. Big up Logan
Expecting
Paul.
a baby. Eric Rowan has pulled out as an indie show with rumours that he might be turning up in WWE.
Oh, really? with a little secret. Have you seen all the little stuff with
Little
Bo Dallas's
Bo
little
Dallas.
fucking... Yeah, we go, new little
Be
wire
intriguing
phone.
what's going to happen next couple of months, especially with the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we end this podcast, as always, with sell or no sell, where I say some facts, and you got to give me, Danny, whether it's true or false.
So I will say, Sikisa, though, just on a... If we're doing visuals now, they do know that Mike's still
I
sitting
know Mike's
on the
still
stage.
here.
So just because if we're doing visuals now, Mike is still technically sitting
Yeah,
on the
Mike
stage.
can join in with this
So
bit.
can you join in with sell
why
or no
not?
sell, Mike?
Come on,
Yeah,
let's
Mike's
like
going
to
to
join
join in with
Cool,
sell or no
amazing.
sell.
Okay.
Cool. So we just got so sell
is
means
true.
like true.
No
sell
sell
not
is
true.
false.
This is your first guest to do it as well,
Yeah,
right?
that's great.
This is your first guest to do it. So just sell or no sell. Here we go.
Right.
Me versus you.
Rhea Ripley has stated that she would love to face Jade Cargill at WrestleMania.
That is wait, sell's true, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go sell.
No sell.
It is a sell.
Yes, 1-0 to me.
Rhea stated so at Cheap Heat podcast that she would love to face Jade Cargill, whether it's at the next WrestleMania or WrestleMania 41, 42, 43, whichever one. She would love to face Jade.
See, I thought like it meant quite imminently, but if you don't put a time limit on it, I suppose. Yeah.
One of these things, Mike, you got to learn with these questions is take it as it comes because she will throw a little curveball.
I will
in
throw
there.
a little curveball. Okay, one more. Chelsea Green has finally got her apology from Fairmont Hotels after being believed to be a prostitute.
Oh my God. I didn't know that existed. I'm going to go...
There is a lot going on in that
I'm going to have to go sell because if you've just made that up...
Yeah,
Oh, actually, no, because what if she hasn't had an apology and you're like, she's finally received her apology? That's the bit you've changed. See what I mean? The curveball.
I'm not selling that because I think
you're going
that's
not
something
sell?
we would have heard about.
So you're going not sell.
Yeah.
I'm going to, for the sake of this, because if you get it right, you've evened, I'm going to go sell.
It's a sell.
Yes, 2-0!
Yeah,
Sorry, Mike.
she was Fairmont Hotels, because of the way that she was dressed, thought she was an escort
Can you
prostitute.
imagine if you just made all of that
I'm
up, though?
Right. I'm sorry. Hotel. What's the hotel?
Fairmont.
God, tell
You.
him.
Behave. People can dress how they want, right? Pack it in. I'll tell you, ma'am.
Talking about dressing how you want, including you, Seamus. Do what you want to do.
Well, thanks again to Mike Bird for being on the podcast. We loved having you at the club. This has been WrestleClub UK podcast. We again thank the Cavendish Arms for having us last minute again this week. We will be in a new venue next week, and we're very excited about it. But from this week, please thank Danny Scott.
Thank you, guys. Have a lovely week.
I've been Sikisa. This has been WrestleClub UK podcast. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
WrestleClub Podcast.